secret bunker somewhere outside of Nashville, Tennessee. This is the award-winning podcast, ParaReality.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for listening tonight. My name's Sandman, and I'll be your guide through this strange realm of ghosts, cryptids, UFOs, aliens, conspiracy theories, and other unsolved mysteries that I like to call ParaReality. And I got a special episode of the podcast in store for you tonight. Not only do I have Eric from World We Live In podcast in the co-host chair.
Hey.
But I've also got another very special guest as well. His co-host and sister, Erin. Welcome to the Secret Bunker, Erin.
Thank you. So happy to be here. Very excited.
I've been looking forward to this. We've been talking about this for a minute.
Yeah, it's been a couple months.
Yeah. So, welcome to the Secret Bunker. You're now indoctrinated into the society.
It's all I've ever wanted. So
Just
happy.
the society.
Yeah. Just the secret society. It's not just any secret society. It's the secret society.
Exactly.
The one and only.
Yep. Excellence only.
Excellence only. That's right. That's what we're going to call our secret society. Excellence only.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Erin just graduated from college yesterday. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're an adult now.
I am. I'm here. I've arrived.
So,
I told her no one cares about her anymore.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
At our celebratory dinner, he's like, "Congrats, no one cares about you."
Yeah. Now it's all over with. Yeah. Adulting. Here it comes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have news, though. I care. I do. I care.
That is so sweet.
And
That's what I needed to hear.
I was wondering, what about got any hits on the old boyfriend search? What's going on with that?
I have a lot of boyfriends that would like to be my boyfriend, but
Yeah.
It's true.
it is.
Like no joke, like actually true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
And like I think 3 of them have told me that, and I quote, "I love you."
Oh,
3
wow.
times.
Like like I
I
love you. Wow, that's
So
great.
it's like we're moving really fast here.
Yeah.
I'm just uninterested at the moment.
We've not had any podcast suitors.
No.
That's well, we had to change that. Erin, we're gonna have to give out your telephone number and your email address. I think that's what's holding us back.
I think the email might be what we're missing.
There's quality men that listen to this show, I'm sure,
There's men for sure.
of some quality.
of some
They are
quality.
Yeah.
some level.
Some may have questionable qualities, but I mean, you look like you're a person that could be down with some questionable quality.
I have to say I am.
Yeah, see?
Yep.
Can I read them or what?
I
Look
mean-
at that. Look at that. So, yeah, I was, because Eric's my bud, and, you were a sister, so by default, you're my bud too. And we were talking about how you don't have a love life, that you've just been in college.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I was concerned about this. I'm like, you're starting your adult life now. You need someone to share all this with. So,
do I?
do you though? Is that?
I think it's a personal
I'm
choice.
not a big fan of sharing.
Oh, okay.
Well, the big thing right now is strong, independent women.
That's
It
true.
That is the big thing right now.
That's true. I do like me an independent woman. I'll have to say that's.
Yes.
Yeah.
She does hang out with a lot of musicians, though.
Oh, okay.
So-
Yeah.
I do.
As a matter of fact, I like for my women to be so independent that they live in a separate area from me, like across town. That kind of independence. So
I think that's called a side piece.
It is a side piece.
Yeah.
even if it's my main piece
Uh-huh.
and she lives across town, it's still a side
Still
piece because she lives across town. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So my main piece could be a side piece.
It could be. You could do both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A main side. Like if
Main side piece.
yeah.
It's your number one side piece.
It's like
Some sides
Like-
are so good they are also mains.
the main course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if
Yes.
you just want mac and cheese,
Yes.
it's a side piece, but I just want mac and cheese tonight.
I just want the $9 mac and cheese
Yeah.
at Maggiano's or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want the steak that goes with it.
No.
I just want the the mac and cheese.
That is what I'm looking for. A male equivalent of the Maggiano's mac and cheese.
That's
Okay.
where we've landed.
Okay.
So if you are the male equivalent of Maggiano's mac and cheese, then please reach out.
Yeah. So we'll give all the email addresses out here at the end of the podcast. Yeah. So we're looking for some mac and cheese, not just any kind of mac and cheese though. It's got to be some, you got to step up your mac and cheese game.
You got to be overpriced.
No easy mac, no
craft.
No.
Yeah. This is like homemade, quality mac and cheese. You can still have a little questionable ingredients in there though, right?
Yeah,
but you got it. Okay. All right. Well, it's settled. There we go.
That's it.
Done.
All right. So there it is. There's me caring about you, Erin.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Because
I can tell.
My older brother doesn't.
I can look at. I'm looking at your face right now, and I can tell how much you appreciate
I do.
my efforts.
You know me.
It's almost like I should be your brother, and Eric.
You're way more supportive at the moment. So.
Apparently, Eric, what's going on over there?
I'm lagging behind.
Yeah,
I'm lagging behind.
We're gonna have to read that. Maybe Erin, you should be my co-host, and as punishment, Eric has to not be my co-host.
Banished from the bunker.
No, that's too. No, I can't do that.
That's a tough.
I love you too much, brother. I can't do that to you. I'm not going to do that. I appreciate it. All right. Well, now that we've got all that over with,
Yeah.
let's get on with what are we doing here tonight? Well, tonight's basically like I think I said it earlier, like a paranormal grab bag of stuff. We're really just going to be kind of sitting around and talking about some of the things that interest us.
Yeah.
Individually. We each have something that interests us, something that got us into this alternative topic media show that we like to do. And so tonight we're going to be talking about those things probably a little bit more. Obviously, we're talking about some mac and cheese and relationships, but that's not really the heart and soul of what we're going to be doing tonight.
It was
It's just a teaser. Yeah, it was the appetizer.
It's not what you came for, but it's what you got.
Yeah.
It's a surprise. It's like you're going out and
the chips and salsa.
Yeah, it's like, man, this chips and salsa is really good. I wasn't expecting this quality, but it's really good.
You got it.
I will say we did have some really good queso last night.
We did, yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Where did you go? I want to know where you went.
Went to this place down by Vanderbilt called Nada. It's like a Latin-inspired restaurant. Yeah.
N-A-D-A? Nada?
Yeah, N-A-D-A, yeah. They got like little tapas type of dishes.
Little street tacos.
Yeah, little street tacos. I got like lamb tacos.
Wow.
Yeah, but like the flavor is incredible. So, if you've ever been to like Barcelona or like the city Barcelona or stuff like that, Spain type stuff, yeah.
Oh.
It's really good.
Great.
Yep.
Well, the Mrs. Sandman and I went out last night. It was date night.
Oh,
and
okay.
We went to this place that I'd never heard of it before. It's called Taco Mama.
Yeah, Taco Mama. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. So apparently tacos were the theme last night. So
yeah,
they were.
I could eat tacos every day. My body would regret it, but I could do it.
I actually do think I eat them on average probably 4 times a week.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I'm not it is
nice.
an issue.
There are worse things you could be addicted to.
Well, yeah.
So before we start off, guys,
yeah,
I do have, I always like to do some fan interaction.
Yes.
And I do have something. Ooh, had to get my fan mail music going.
Oh,
I know you can't hear it because you refuse to wear headphones, but so
I just end up taking them off.
You do.
I do.
So this is in response to a tweet. Well, that's super loud. I think I need to turn that down a little bit. So this is in response to a tweet that I sent out a few days ago. You guys watch Secret of Skinwalker Ranch on the History Channel?
I have, yes.
What do you think about that show?
I think it's like a lot of stuff on the History Channel.
Boy, that was vague.
Well, okay. I mean, so like, I'm trying to be too long-winded, but like Ancient Aliens, like it got me into a lot of the topics, but they never really solve anything.
Yeah.
So from what I remember it's been a few years, but From what I remember, it gave a good overview of the topic, but didn't really solve anything.
So I watch it mainly because it's got Dr. Travis Taylor on there, and I like Travis Taylor. And so he's like the featured scientist dude on there, you know. So I watched this thing. But I got to noticing, so they're at, this is like season 3.
Okay.
And I got to noticing last year, and it's continued. I've only seen, they've only had one or two episodes. I've only seen one.
Okay.
But this trend has continued that everybody on the show wears the same outfit every stinking day.
Okay.
So I tweeted about it. And where's my tweet? You can tell I prepared for this. So anyway, I sent a tweet out. That's basically that said, hey, I'm watching the season premiere of this show, and I've noticed that everybody's wearing the same outfit. What's the deal with that? So I got a reply from someone who obviously watches the show too. This is from Wicked Brush. And Wicked Brush says, I noticed that too. The ranch security employees do have a black uniform, maybe the tan shirts of the other employees' uniforms. But that doesn't float with me because there's like the security, there's like 2 security dudes, and they're all black all the time, all day, every day. Okay. So I get it. Hey, Eric, I'm getting some wiggle your mic or something. I'm getting some static. There we go. I don't know if everybody else could hear it, but out there, but I could.
Okay.
Thank you. So,
Try to keep it there.
So like I said, security wears black all day, every day. I get it. Okay, that's security. So they got a uniform. Then they've got like a scientist dude that wears like a tan shirt, like all day, every day.
So is the security with them?
Yeah, the security is always with them in the show. So the scientist dude he's wearing the same outfit every day. I'm like, okay, that's his scientist uniform. I could buy that, but then they've got the ranch superintendent.
Okay.
I don't know what his job is. He's just a superintendent.
Maybe we can expand on Skinwalker a bit, but who owns the ranch currently? Because I know.
Oh,
Bigelow
he sold it to this dude. I can't remember what his name is.
Okay.
He's some nerdy looking guy with glasses and a suit, but he's a multimillionaire.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. But yeah, so I could buy. Okay, the scientist has his uniform, and security has their uniforms.
Yeah.
But then the ranch superintendent, whatever. He wears the same thing all the time, every day, every episode. And so does Travis Taylor. He wears the same thing every day, every episode. To me, that seems to lose a little bit of the quote-unquote legitimacy of the programs, because it makes it seems like, okay, everybody shows up, they're wearing their same uniform, and we're going to film everything today.
Yeah. That does seem very odd.
It is very odd.
Ever seen that before?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even in like Hellier, for example, I mean, they were always different stuff, and you could tell it wasn't all filmed at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that this is all filmed at the same time, but to me, it kind of...
That's what it comes across
It
as?
could come across as something like that, because people aren't... It's like, why are you... I don't get it.
Yeah. Huh. And also I think I was mistaking the History Channel show for the what's that? The Hunt for the Skinwalker.
Oh.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I think that was a movie, but anyway.
Yeah, that's something totally different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can Skinwalker. I can see how you.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my interaction with Wicked Brush, and I did say, hey, Travis Taylor also wears the same thing, and this person was like, oh yeah, that was a good catch. So anyway, thanks for Wicked Brush, whoever you are. Thanks for the interaction and for picking up on my super geniusness that I have picked up on something that apparently no one else has picked up on. I don't know. I've never heard anyone say anything.
Yeah, you didn't find any other tweets that were like
no,
blah, blah, blah.
No, I've never heard.
Huh.
But I don't like belong to like a Facebook group or a super fan page or anything like that. I just watched the show because it got Travis Taylor in it, and I think he's pretty smart dude who apparently is like Einstein. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's like Einstein was good enough for Einstein. He had like 5 suits and they were all the same suit.
I did take a lot of classes with a kid in college that always wore navy blue. Only
was his
outfit
thing.
he ever wore. He had different clothes, but only wore navy blue. Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if he's still doing that.
A little bit.
I mean, it's possible.
Mm.
He was like, he was very nerdy, very nerdy, but I don't know.
Socially challenged.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Skinwalker Ranch is pretty wild though. I don't think Erin has heard a ton of stories about Skinwalker, but I mean, yeah, they got like apparently werewolves jumping out of like rifts in in time space.
You name it, it's going on
Yeah.
out there. There's vortexes, there's
Dogmen,
dogmen, there's time slips, there's UFOs. Apparently, there's a lot of UFO activity going on out there. What's his name? Robert Bigelow with Bigelow Aerospace. He owned Skinwalker Ranch for a while, like a couple of decades.
Yeah, I think it was like 20, 30 years.
Had all these scientists out there doing all these experiments and stuff.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, just like, okay, we're wrapping this up and I'm selling it.
Yeah.
And he won't really reveal whatever it was that he found out there. And now some other dude has it, and he's like, well, I'm just going to continue this. And God, I can't remember that guy's name. But
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of sketchy. I don't. To me, it's either one of two things. They either found stuff and they just won't disclose it, or they spent millions of dollars and didn't find anything.
right.
You know,
There's
gotta be
no
one of the two.
there's no gray area
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
So, Erin, I want to ask you a question.
Okay, I'm ready.
How did you get into this
So
with all
my
this weird stuff?
earliest-
I pay her.
Oh, God.
Go ahead.
My earliest memory is actually coming home from like elementary and middle school and seeing Ancient Aliens on the TV because of this guy who's my brother. And I was like, all I remember is the guy with the crazy hair. And I was like, that sounds like something I want to know more about. And then,
Yeah, you've met him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep.
Oh, she's seen my plaque on the wall up there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Picture, whatever you want to call it.
So that's like the earliest thing I can remember. And then, like, once I started doing the podcast, The World We Live In, with Eric, it was just something where I could talk about it and it didn't, like, it could be something totally different than my, like, every day-to-day
Your
life.
mainstream stuff, yeah.
And it was just really interesting. And, like, Eric's so knowledgeable about all of it. So it was really cool.
He was very knowledgeable
yeah.
about weird stuff.
Thank you.
Like, he is the best person I think you could ever take to trivia or, like, anything that doesn't matter that he knows it.
Yeah, I've heard that more than
Wait
once.
a minute. I thought that was me. Wait.
We
So,
should,
like-
we should do trivia nights.
Yeah.
sometime.
We should.
Yeah.
Like, you would run the trivia table for
Yeah,
sure.
we would. Yeah.
But yeah, so Ancient Aliens is what I would say. And then just like having something else to do to not think about myself.
What's your favorite topic that we've covered on World We Live In so far?
Definitely time slips.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
It's one of mine too. They're so crazy.
Yeah. Oh, also like Bigfoot. Like I feel like I watch things about Bigfoot all the time in my childhood, like for no reason.
Bigfoot's popular, man.
Finding Bigfoot, we've
Like, they
definitely
just-
seen those.
The phenomena with Bigfoot and how insane some of those shows were. I was like, no way this is real, but I'm going to believe it's real. Like, it was just crazy.
Yep.
But yeah,
So
aliens and Bigfoot.
how did he talk you into doing the co-hosting gig? I mean, did he like to twist your arm, or did he was like, hey, would you? And you were like, yeah. And
Honestly, we would always, since we were both like ended up living in the same city, like every other week or something, we'd like go get dinner and like, he's like, just join me doing the podcast every now and then. Cause I was always over by where he lived anyway. So yeah, no, it was just not a tough sell. Cause I'd listened to it like forever. Him doing it with like Kyle and all the people he did it with before. So
it's much more fun doing it with somebody that you have a good rapport with too.
Oh, you have to.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys do have a good. I mean, you would hope that you have a good rapport. For Christ's sake, you're related, but you know,
Not
you
We're
do have a good
besties.
rapport.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's great. I've wanted to ask you that, like how you got involved in it, because I don't know, it just seems kind of interesting that to me anyway, that because you don't seem like the type of person that would be into all these conspiracies and alternative topics and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm really not knowledgeable about it, but I like to add my 2 cents. You know?
She also, I think having her not as in the weeds as you and me,
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't know the way to say it, but like a normal mind to bounce off of.
Yeah.
Because like we were just talking about the other week we were talking about George Adamski, the famous UFO contactee from Southern California, and I mean he's written 3 books about his adventures into space with these blonde-haired Nordic aliens, and I mean they're extremely bizarre and highly unbelievable.
Yeah.
So you know, bouncing stories off each other is great. Yeah.
And like a lot of things that I've heard for the first time.
Yes, exactly.
Like as he's telling me, I'm like taking it all in.
Yeah.
I'm like
Filtering it.
Yeah. And then trying to like offer a comment that I hope relates to someone who's out there listening who also has no idea what's going on. But
Yeah, exactly.
But that's, you know, one of the reasons why I had my friend John Harrison, who was a total 100% skeptic.
Yeah.
I used to have him on the podcast quite frequently when he was in the area. And you need, I think, something like that every so often, because you don't want to get, as Eric was saying, someone that's in the weeds as much all the time, you know. And I'm more of what I've always described myself as, an open-minded skeptic. You know, I just because I'm talking about a certain topic does not necessarily mean that I'm like 100% off the deep end and like I believe this is exactly what's going on, but it's still something that I'm interested in. And if I'm proven wrong, then that's great. I'll be the first to, like, I don't believe, and I've done a couple of podcast episodes over the years about the Loch Ness Monster. 100% there's no Loch Ness Monster. Not sure that there ever was, but if there was, it's dead. Yeah. They don't call it the Loch Ness Monsters. It's the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, Nessie.
And it's and Nessie's dead, if Nessie even existed at all. So I don't believe that there's a Loch Ness Monster, but I still like to talk about it. And, you know, I'd love to be proven wrong. Heck yeah, I would love for someone to get a good, clear picture, you know, some dude like riding Nessie, woo, you know. But
that'd be pretty epic.
If there is something going on there, you know what I think it is? Time slip.
Well, some people claim that
speaking of your favorite topic.
Yeah, time slip. Some people claim that Aleister Crowley, because he had a house close to Loch Ness, some people claim that he opened up some riff and ushered in some sort of monster, and that's what Nessie is. Yeah,
like Cthulhu. Nessie is Cthulhu.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And on the complete opposite side of that, one of my favorite shows, River Monsters, with Jeremy Wade, who is he's a British guy. He's an angler, just catches, I mean, insane fish, which truly are monsters. Like the word monster, I think it's taken out of context a lot.
Yeah.
Like these fish are monsters that he catches.
I was going to say that. Like, I feel like some of the things on that show are literally scarier than things we've talked about on.
Yeah.
But like, if I saw a fish that, I would probably shit my pants.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I agree. I mean,
like a ghost is fine, or like Bigfoot's fine, but those fish,
yeah. He caught, and he was doing an episode on the Loch Ness Monster, and like was trying to figure out what it is, and he actually dives in in Loch Ness, but it's so the water is so dark that
Yeah.
you can't see
You
anything.
can't see anything. Yeah.
And so he ends up catching a Greenland shark, which lives in the fjords of Norway at the very bottom of the fjords, and they're completely blind. But they live to be like 300 years old.
Jesus.
And so he pulls this thing up he's on like a Norwegian like Coast Guard or fishing vessel, and he's pulling this thing up with this giant reel, and he hops in the water, and the guys that are helping him out are like holding this thing up while he gets like a picture with it. It's crazy though. Yeah. So
How do you catch a blind shark? How does a blind shark hunt?
yeah, I can't remember the specifics on like
Smell.
what he had
Yes.
on the end of his reel or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was
A
crazy.
Greenland?
Greenland shark, yeah.
Greenland shark. Yeah.
So
Terrifying.
yeah.
So, as far as time slips go,
Yeah.
and we're talking about Nessie, and I think that if Nessie exists, Nessie's a time slip. And you were talking about, the two of you were saying how that's your most favorite topic.
Time slips
To
are my
talk
favorite
about.
stories, yeah.
So, what is your favorite time slip story?
That's a good question. The one that's most recent in my mind, and I'll probably think of another one while we're talking, but it was one we did on one of our recent episodes about this woman, and I think the reason I like it is because it's so just like it happened so fast, but it was in like I think southern Louisiana or Mississippi or something. These two guys are driving down a highway.
Oh, yeah.
These two guys are driving down a highway, and they are driving on one side of the road, and obviously there's the other side of the road. And as they're driving, there's this car coming, and it's like a weird color. And there's a woman in the front seat, and she's like, she either has hanging her hand out the window or something. She was doing something or she was like screaming or something, and as they drive past, this I think took place in like the 60s or 70s. As they drive past, they see the license plate, and it's like a 1930s or 40s license plate, and it's like an old car, but it's driving the other direction, and then they turn around and try to catch up to it, and it's not there.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was we did some story about that, like McDonald's.
Oh,
Was that
yeah.
was
no,
that the
yeah,
same
that
thing?
was, it
McDonald's.
was, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think you did that one. Do you remember it?
Yeah, it was a guy just like was going to McDonald's, and he was like, he lived in like a subdivision, and he like pulled out of his driveway and realized that like all the street lights were like different, but he wasn't quite sure. But then he got to the McDonald's, and like they didn't take like a credit card, and like the menu is different and everything. But once he got back home and went past the same street light, everything was like normal again.
Oh.
It was like, yeah. I just remember us making a joke about the ice cream machine.
Oh yeah, we
And,
were
like-
like maybe because you know how the McDonald's ice cream machines are always broken.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like maybe it was fixed in that.
Yeah, and that was why it was so wild.
Yeah. But yeah, they like looked at the card and they like didn't know what to do with it, and then
They hand them like a debit card, and they're like, "What the hell is
yeah,
this?"
they're like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
There's a lot of those. I can't remember specifics like details, but there are a lot of stories of people traveling through like rural areas, and they'll get off at a gas station at an exit, and the gas station it's like in the past, or like the people at the gas station are like not. They act weird. They act weird, and some people think they're not time slips, but that they're screen memories, and that these people are possibly getting abducted, and like this is the way of, you know, putting it into their conscience that they went to this gas station instead of like got picked up by a UFO or whatever happens.
Interesting.
Oh, so the aliens are implanting a memory,
Correct. Yeah.
but it's just
It's like a
like
screen
they need
memory.
to update their memories.
correct.
Like,
yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm okay. I can see that explanation.
Screen memory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the problem that I have with it is if these aliens have the ability to kidnap you and implant screen memories into you, so you don't know why are they going to do one from 60 years ago? I mean, they obviously have the technology to update their shit.
I agree. I think that's
just where they're lacking.
Definitely.
Definitely
That one thing. Like,
yeah. Well,
if Randy hadn't have broke the screen memory implanter device, we could.
It's like they just have a SIM card from like the 1970s.
But Randy broke the shit.
Yeah, there are also a lot of Men in Black encounters where they're like they act very strange, like they don't know how to interact with humans.
Right.
And the car that they leave in, and I know Nick Redfern's done a ton of stuff on this, but
love Nick Redfern.
Yeah, great researcher. But yeah, they get away or they leave in a car that's like it looks like a like a 1970s black Cadillac or whatever,
50s era, 60s era.
Exactly. It's all like delayed. Yeah, it's strange.
You know, I interviewed Nick Redfern. God, Jesus, I'm so sorry, Mr. Redfern. I interviewed Nick Redfern.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
You know, we're like best friends now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We're like.
That was how long ago was that?
Oh, it's been several years ago.
Oh, okay.
He accidentally blocked me on social media. I don't know. No, he did. No, he didn't.
Really?
No. But yeah, I interviewed him several years ago, and it was a great interview. He's a very easy guy to talk to.
Yep.
I thoroughly enjoy. I'd like to get him back on. I'm gonna try that.
That'd be fun.
Reach back out to him.
Yeah.
I read a lot of his stuff.
Yes.
God, that guy's a writing machine. Of course, that's how he earns his living. But I mean, all he does is like all day, every day, write a book. I'm like, don't take a vacation, dude.
I know he's just collecting stories. I know every. I feel like every month he's got something.
He's got something out. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You know, one of my favorite topics of all time to talk about: chemtrails.
You are, yes, big chemtrail guy.
I am a super chemtrail conspiracy theorist. And I can't believe that you haven't gotten aboard the chemtrail conspiracy train. We need to do a show, me and you, on chemtrails.
Yeah, we do. I think we've talked about this. Yeah, I only know like fleeting information. So, yeah, we should definitely do a full episode.
Yeah. You know, I've got on my YouTube channel, I've got like 2 or 3 documentaries about chemtrails. Not that I've personally done, but you know that I just have on my YouTube channel. You should watch. There's one called "What in the World Are They Spraying?" and there's one called "Why in the World Are They Spraying?" It's pretty interesting to see the. I see you laughing at me over there, Erin.
The titles were.
Yeah.
I know. The amount of chemicals that they find in like the groundwater after a chemtrail plane has gone over, especially the aluminum.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I just recently got, and it's about like the water. I recently got a really good filter for my tap water.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just started hearing a bunch of stuff about how the tap water has like a bunch of chemicals in it that is not, and it depends on where you are in the U.S. Obviously, some better, some but yeah, it's not great.
I know.
Yeah.
Have you researched much on the fluoride conspiracy theory about?
I had a period where I was sort of deep into the fluoride conspiracy. Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
So I don't know, to be honest with you.
Which is the way most conspiracy theory research
sure.
ends. Is like, oh well, I don't know anymore.
I think it makes sense, like what they're saying about how like it blocks, because the main thing was that it, from what I remember, was that it blocks your pineal gland.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard this?
No, I haven't actually.
Yeah, I believe it's the. So the pineal gland is third eye.
Mm-hmm.
It sits in the middle of your head.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fluoride in the water is blocking the pineal gland, which is like
Mm-hmm.
inhibiting people from like expanding your consciousness and like
oh no.
yeah, like stuff like that. So, that was one thing. I can't remember all the.
You ever seen that movie Reanimator?
Uh-uh.
Oh God, you should see that movie.
Yeah.
It's a '80s like cheese horror thing, but it's
Okay.
really got a cult following,
Uh-huh.
and I believe that it has to do with the pineal gland.
Yeah.
I think it's Reanimator.
Okay.
Herbert West, I think, was the guy that was in it. He did so many movies, but it did a lot of stuff that was based off of the writings of H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh yeah.
And so there's Reanimator, and there's a couple of others that he did, but one of them has to do with the pineal gland, and he's like a scientist doing research in it, and all of a sudden he starts growing this pineal gland out of the center of his forehead,
Oh Lord.
and it's just on this long stalk thing, and it's like looking around and stuff.
That sounds 80s.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah.
That's funny.
So, Erin, you're quiet. Why are you so quiet over there?
I didn't know about either of those theories on brand for me. But
What's do you get much into conspiracy theories since you've been hanging out with this guy over here?
I'm not really.
We
unless-
have not done a lot
No.
of conspiracy stuff. No.
No, but that made me think when I was sitting here and I was like, wow, I don't know any of that. We were at dinner with one of my best friends, and she is like, we saw a magician the other day, hates that. She's like not into any of that.
Oh,
But Eric, of
she's
course,
no
went
fun.
on a tangent about some conspiracy theory, and she was like just so like deer in the headlights about it.
Like, what is wrong with this guy?
I think it was the JFK
Yeah, and so
assassination.
yeah,
How do you get that off a magic show?
no, it wasn't
No,
related.
they were not related.
It wasn't.
They were
Okay.
out a couple days ago, and some guy did a magic trick on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she just is that type of person that like hates all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
She
So-
doesn't want to like.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't want that. If it doesn't like, she's like.
She's also in pharmacy
she's-
school,
Yeah,
so
she's gonna be a pharmacist, so she just wants it to be like, you know,
Uh,
cut and
right?
dry. Yeah. Yeah.
black and white, like nothing that she has to think about. So it was just funny, but and she'd also never met you before, had she?
No.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the
that
first
was
time.
what a
time,
great
yeah.
way to introduce
Yeah.
yourself
You're
to
just
somebody.
dropping
Start
bombs.
talking about
Yeah, just
JFK
dropping
conspiracies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like JFK? What?
Who is JFK?
Probably went
Yeah.
through her head. Yeah.
Yep. That's probably the whole thing where she didn't hit, and she had to go home and
She's like,
Google JFK.
Google all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you just Google the whole thing. No, there's a really good YouTube documentary called it's called A Rich Man's Game.
Mhm.
Done by a British guy, I can't remember his name, but it's like 3 hours long, and it connects
Wow.
basically the Wall Street crash of what was that, 20
The 20s, yeah.
the 20s, yeah, or yeah, whatever. And then it connects that all the way through World War II, the 60s, all up through I think the Bush administration. Yeah,
As like some sort of grand conspiracy.
yeah, it is because the
Grand unified conspiracy theory.
yeah, no, I mean it really is. It's all about how there's. It's very much along the David Icke line that there is. He's shaking his head. It's along the lines that there's a group of very rich individuals that are controlling the moves that happen, and knocking off JFK was one of their moves.
The Illuminati. Them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not so much the Illuminati though. It's more of like, and it has to do a lot with America. Like there was a Ford subsidiary that made all of the cars for the Nazi war machine in World War II.
Yep.
Yeah, and then just talks about how like a lot of the instruments that went into producing World War II were owned by American companies
Yeah, yeah.
and Wall Street.
Well, you know, one of the other things that I'm an expert on just so happens to be Hitler and the Nazis.
Yes,
Yeah.
we love a good Hitler
I
and
was
Nazi
gonna-
story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is one of my favorite things. Just the fact that he didn't actually die.
there's,
Yep.
I did.
You go to Argentina and some of the places look like Bavaria in Germany. It's crazy.
Yeah. There was speaking of the History Channel, we started talking about the History Channel. So there was a show on the History Channel a few years ago called, was it Hunting Hitler or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was like 2 or 3 seasons and stuff. Well, this guy, meaning me, before that show even came on the air, I did a series of podcasts on that very thing.
Oh, wow.
And everything that they talked about, with the exception of like just 3 or 4 things, I talked about on my podcast when I did that series of episodes of shows on that very thing. And so I got my fascination with, God, it seems if I say it, it sounds, you know how you right before you say something, you think, oh, if I say this out loud, I'm going to sound like an asshole.
Say Hitler.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of
No.
Hitler or the Nazis. I don't support that. So I want to get that, out in the open. But I am fascinated by that whole thing about how one man captured an entire nation and put them under his spell, and of course he had help, but I mean, he was the main guy with all of this. So I first got that fascination from my mother because she kind of felt the same way, and she read a lot of stuff about that. And so that kind of like, I don't know, fell onto me, from seeing my mom and her interest in that. And so I kind of picked up, and I don't know, I went into this whole thing going, he killed himself in that bunker, he's dead. Why in the hell would anyone think that he skipped off anywhere and survived? And why would anyone think that there's this secret Fourth Reich that's being developed? It's been 70 freaking years, But I started doing research for this, and it's a huge rabbit hole. There's tons and tons and tons of information. I just kept going further and further and further down this rabbit hole. And by the time I got finished doing that whole series of episodes on that, I was like, I think this dude, he might have lived.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the same thing that they came up with on their show, is that, there's good evidence that he probably survived. There's more evidence that he lived than he died.
Yeah, there's no body.
Yeah. And the body that they did have was like some woman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they thought it was his mistress or his girlfriend or whatever.
Ava Braun.
Braun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been.
Who knows?
Who knows?
There was it wasn't like a real show, but it was like based on the idea of this. And it was on Amazon, but it was only a season, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it was like after watching that, and I was like, that, although it was like a made up show, like that is a very believable way that he could still be alive. Like,
for sure.
It was crazy. And like how they like infiltrated the US post, they all escaped to the US post World War II. And he just like was living a normal life and like just like vibing.
Bang.
And I'm like, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the Nazi higher-ups did go to Argentina, and that's why there's all these German-based towns in Argentina. That's just a irrefutable fact. You can go there.
Literally, they can go visit them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea that he might have escaped and went there is highly plausible.
Yes, it is. It's also like the mess that was 1945 and like going into Berlin, because you had the Allies coming from both sides. You had Russia coming from the east, and then the U.S. and Canadians coming from the west, and then it's just like, then you know what happened after that? They just split it in half, and East and West Berlin. So
yep,
or
stayed
East
that
and
way.
West Germany,
Stayed that way until the 80s.
which is crazy to
That
think
is.
about.
Mm-hmm.
As I don't know, maybe your perspective is a little different because you kind of saw the beginning of that, but like that's wild.
Well, it was just, coming from someone who's grew up in that era, it was just, I mean, everybody knew there was, it was split in half, and there was the communist side, and then there was the free side, and it made no sense, absolutely no sense. You should like trying to learn this shit in school.
Oh yeah, the kid. I can imagine telling kids. Like, what?
It's like, well, why did they do? And no one could explain like why did they do this. It was like, well, it's just what they decided on, But it made no sense even back then. And then when the wall came down, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, I remember what I was doing the day the wall came down. No, I don't know what I was doing when the wall came down. I was probably playing freaking Atari or something. I don't know. I was a kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was, I remember it being a big deal, and all the kids that were my age and everything were like, this really shouldn't be a big deal because this makes total sense. Why are you making a big deal out of something that makes sense?
Yes. Yeah.
But so I've talking anything about the Nazis and Adolf Hitler or Heinrich Himmler is just fascinating to me. It's just totally freaking fascinating.
I think the other thing is there's so many different angles you can take from it, because like there's like the sociological perspective of like how they encapsulated the attention of so many Germans and like turned the Jews against everyone and then murdered 6 million Jews. And then there's the other side of like more of what we talk about a lot of like the Nazis making trips to like India and like Greece and like trying to find these old artifacts and then
trying to prove the Aryan race and
exactly.
that they came from this race and stuff.
Yeah.
And
do you know about that, Erin?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like, like the purebred race. It's craziness.
Even Adolf Hitler and Heinrich Himmler, who came up with the whole idea of the SS and made all these standards, they didn't meet the standards to be in the SS.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
That's how it normally goes, I think.
I mean, they're in charge, so it doesn't really matter what they.
It's like you have to meet all these standards. You have to be blonde haired and blue eyed, and you look at Hitler and it's like, dude, you're like 5'6" and you have black hair and you're dark eyed and what the F? But
and Hitler was on drugs like 90% of the time.
So was the majority of the German army. There was this thing that they had, this drug. It was called Pervitin.
Yep.
Pervitin. Now, you hear that word Pervitin, and you automatically think, that's messed up. It's got the word perv in it.
Well.
But they called it Pervitin, and it was really the first form of crystal meth.
Yep.
That's how they were able to pull off the Blitzkriegs, was all the soldiers got hyped up on crystal meth, and they just like full tilt boogie for like 72 hours with no sleep.
Yeah, they couldn't stop moving. Yeah.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a whole book written on it. A guy, I can't remember his name, but he wrote a whole book on like Pervitin and and a lot of the drugs, a lot of the modern pharmaceuticals come from German origin, which is crazy. It's crazy.
I know. Yeah. If we would have just like left them alone, and not done anything, can you imagine like all of the weird scientific advances and stuff that we would have right now? Some weird, like we probably would have UFOs right now.
Yeah, I mean there was no like checks or balances.
Yeah.
I mean they were,
but it's like you can't just like let some dude, it's like, oh, he's just killing 6 million people, it'll be okay.
Yeah, of course. I mean, of course not. Yeah, you had. I mean, we had no choice after.
Yeah. And what's going on in the Ukraine right now is obviously being compared to Nazi Germany and everything, because that's what Hitler started out doing was, oh well, I'm just going to, all this stuff that used to be part of Germany, I'm just going to take these places back with military force. And the rest of the world was going, wagging their finger and saying, don't do that. And he's like, oh, yeah, I won't do it again. And then he did it again. And there's, I thought we told you not to do that again. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm so sorry. You know, and now instead of wagging their finger at him, they're getting on Twitter and tweeting at Putin. It's like, you don't need to be doing this. Like, and he's like, yeah, sure. You know, that's teaching them a lesson.
Exactly.
I'm going to tweet some bad stuff about you, sir.
Well, me and Erin have
Freaking
talked
moron.
endlessly about how pointless, at least from a anti-war perspective, the UN is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The UN doesn't do anything. They never do anything.
No.
It's just a bunch of people sitting in some conference room in Geneva.
But they have their own army.
Yeah.
It was like
Technically, yes.
we were talking about before we started the podcast about how like people like in the government just don't show up to work.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
exactly.
I feel like that's the UN. Like
I think most of the time it is, yes.
like it's just or they just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
But
Or they'll have a climate change symposium, and then everyone flies in on their private jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's like, really, guys,
Yep.
you couldn't like hop on Zoom and maybe do it that way.
No. We have to do this in person.
No, we have to
This
go
is-
to Geneva.
This is important,
Take
and important
photos.
things have to be done in person.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, my wife, Mrs. Sandman, is convinced, probably because she's been hanging out with me for too long, but she is convinced that, and I promised her I would bring this up,
Uh-huh.
at the risk of turning this into a political debate, which I do not want to do.
We won't do that.
I do not want to do.
we're
I
fighting today.
do not want to do. But she is convinced that this whole overturning possibility of Roe versus Wade and everything is a U.S. government form of making sure that the white population doesn't die out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Making
Okay.
sure the white population.
Yeah. Okay. This is how the theory goes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So the Muslims, the African Americans, and the Hispanics, or the Latinos, whatever you want to call them, Mexicans, whatever political or unpolitical correctness you want to use here. Okay. Those three populations are right now basically breeding the white man out of existence. Right?
Okay.
Because if you take a statistical look at it, who's having less babies? It's white people, the Caucasian people. Okay? Why are we doing this? Well, Erin, I'm going to use you as a perfect example. Okay?
Great.
Yeah. You're young. You just graduated college. You have a life plan ahead of you. And by your own admission, right now, that does not include having a boyfriend, yet alone having a husband and a family, correct?
Correct.
Is that safe to assume?
Yeah.
And that is nowhere in your immediate future. Why? Because you have career goals set in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And Caucasian women are waiting later and later in life before they decide, okay, now I'm going to settle down and have a family. So if you're going to wait until you're in your 30s before you're like, okay, I'm ready to have this baby now, how many babies are you going to have when you're in your 30s? One, maybe two.
Not 8.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at 70 or 80 years ago, or even, you don't even have to go that far back, just go 30 or 40 years ago, Caucasian women were getting married at an earlier age and they had more kids. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're being bred out of existence. Where the white person, and what I mean by that is that, or basically what Mrs. Sandman means by this, is that the white people aren't going to die off, but we're not going to be the dominant race of society as far as sheer numbers go. So why were we able to have the African-American slaves a couple of hundred years ago? Because there were more of us than there were of them, right? So we were able to subjugate them, right? And now that's not true.
Yeah.
And so who's controlling the government? Whitey, old white dudes, right?
Facts.
So if they can take the choice away from women to have an abortion, then isn't that in effect making sure that the white population is going to continue to be the dominant race here in the U.S.? Because if you look, Muslims aren't getting, they're definitely not going to get abortions. That's totally, and then African Americans and Hispanics, they're less likely to get abortions, because it's just not culturally something they do. Whereas the Muslims, that's a total religious no-no. They're not going to do that. So who's the people really that get the most abortions? White women, right?
Yes, I would say whites and African Americans. And now I would like to point out, and I think this might support that opinion of the quote unquote white race, even though I hate to use that term.
I know, I do too.
Yeah. But that's what we're going with. The founder of Planned Parenthood was a staunch racist. Margaret, can't remember her last name.
Yeah.
But the woman was a racist.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's documented. Yeah.
Not like black people at all.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
And I want to
who knows where it's gotten to at this point? Yeah.
And I want to point out that my wife is not white.
That is right. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So this is her conspiracy theory about what's going on with the government.
Yeah.
And this is from a non-white person saying it's the U.S. government trying to make sure that white people continue to be the dominant race. And I mean, I think it sounds plausible.
I know that I don't know in how many of the what the time frame was, but that Hispanics are overtaking the African American population in the U.S. But also a lot of them, yes, they have a lot of children, and they usually are like Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
From where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Which usually very against.
Yeah.
That abortion.
Yeah.
Contraception. Whatnot.
Yeah.
Contraception and period. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very interesting to think about too, with the topic of abortion.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is like the cost of living in the United States just keeps going up and up and up. And someone who is going to have 8 kids, I mean, you better be making a ton of money to support 8 kids, unless you want to live in abject poverty, and that's just a fact.
And that's what most African Americans and Hispanics live in, is abject poverty.
Yeah, in the inner cities, exactly. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You think that she could be onto something with this conspiracy theory that she's?
I do. I think it's possible.
Just this is not even mentioning the whole, women's rights thing and taking away Erin's right to control her own body, which is asinine.
Yeah.
Leave it up to a bunch of old white dudes to control what a young white woman does with her body. That's the perfect group of people
I just
to
want
decide
people
that.
to stop controlling other people.
I mean, seriously.
Have you never listened to this show? That's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, someone's always got to be in control. I mean, I think it's definitely possible. It's one of many parts of the puzzle, but I can see it.
Yeah, I think it goes more deeper than what she's postulating that, but yeah, like I said, I didn't want to turn this into some political debate.
No.
But yeah, and it is touchy because we are talking about race here, so, with the I don't know, risking alienating some of the people who may listen to this show, or before anyone even wants to get it in their head that, oh God, you're being racist. No, I'm not being racist. I'm just throwing out a conspiracy theory here that was proposed to me by a non-white person. Stating that it's old whitey trying to make sure the white people stay stay dominant. I don't know. I think there's something to it.
I mean, look, the government's done a lot worse in the past. So,
Oh my God, look at what they did with the Tuskegee Airmen.
yeah, Tuskegee experiments. Yeah, it's
And even all the experiments they did, I can't remember what they called it right off the top of my head, but all the experiments they did on unsuspecting people with LSD
in
and shit.
San Francisco. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude.
Craziness.
That is totally and completely nuts.
You don't learn that stuff in high school.
No, they don't teach. you
No,
that.
they're not going to teach you that in
Test
high
that.
school.
Yeah.
And I grew up, and we were just talking about this. I grew up in Southeast Alabama. Do you think they talked about the Tuskegee Airmen in Southeast Alabama? Where Tuskegee is in Alabama. Did we learn that in school in Alabama? Hell no. No.
Yeah, no, that's something you figure out when you're either in college or out of college, and you're like, oh shit.
The last year of college, that I've had a lot of oh shit
Yeah.
moments. Like,
A lot of oh
Yep.
shit moments.
good.
Yeah.
I think I lived my last 20 years not knowing any of that.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy.
Now that you're woke, you cannot be unwoke.
I know.
It's hard to go back.
It is.
Yeah.
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 What does that even mean, woke?
Woke. I guess
Depends on who you ask.
Just like
Yeah, it does.
you're awake. Your mind is awakened.
Yeah.
So you're woke. Yeah.
You know, another thing that I would really love for us to talk about one time is flat Earth.
I can.
Flat Earth. Yeah. Yeah. I've tried to listen to people argue it, and I just
God, it makes no sense.
it just doesn't. I can't listen.
So there's this free documentary on YouTube, and it's called Searching for a Flat Earth.
Okay.
This guy starts off making I think it's like an hour and a half or something like that. It's not all that long. But this guy starts out talking about this flat Earth video that he saw on YouTube several years ago. And it just kind of irked him. And he couldn't get it out of his head, and it stayed with him for like years. And he was talking about the science that the guy was using he went out at some lake in British Columbia and was talking about the horizon with the lake and all this other sorts of stuff. And he was like, the basis for this guy's science is solid. He's trying to do the right thing, but here's what's wrong with it and why his things are flawed. So he goes out like several years later, like during the pandemic, it's like, well, what do I don't have anything to do. What can I do? Oh, I remember this video that's been irking me for years. So he goes out to the lake. It was only like half an hour or hour and a half from his house. So he goes out to the lake and starts filming all this stuff. And he goes into this whole thing about what flat earthers are really trying to do. Like, it's not really about flat earth. It's more about a belief system, you know,
Okay.
and how you don't want things to change, you know.
Okay.
And that's really kind of what, if you break it all down, that's kind of what the flat earth movement is all about. And he takes that and like transitions into QAnon. Now,
Well, that's a slippery slope.
talking about taking two totally separate conspiracy theories and merging them together, and he makes perfectly good sense with the way that he does it.
Okay.
Which is basically QAnon doesn't want things to change. So the very end of it, he says, QAnon, they're trying to create a flat earth.
Okay.
Which basically means that they don't want things to change, and they're trying to force their beliefs upon everybody else. It's a really good documentary. You should really watch
Check it out.
But yeah, I really would like to get some flat earthers on here and let's debate. Erin, you're not a flat earther, are
I'm
you?
not a flat earther, but
Okay.
I've watched a few documentaries on it, and it is the most interesting thing because it's like, no. Like, there's just no, like, I was talking to someone about this, and they were like, well, if it's really flat, just walk to the end. Just go.
Yeah.
Keep on walking.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, literally, like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's do it.
I would love if the Earth's flat. That's hilarious. But like, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My question is like, if you can fly around the world,
Right.
like how is it flat?
I totally do agree.
Because
though,
you
that
fly
it's
around.
more of-
It's
You go in a
flat, and you
circle?
fly. You circle
go in
around
a
the perimeter.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
like a football field.
Yeah, because I guess
Yeah.
a circle is just a flattened or like a plane is just like a condensed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like
No, I don't. What are you trying to say?
so if something is like I'm pointing at a table. So if this table, so like pretend this is the Earth, it's flat. If I were to like mash this together, theoretically I could make a ball like a sphere,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So all you're saying when I just asked you that question is about flying
Yeah.
around the world. All you said is you could fly around the outside of it. So
Yeah.
if I were to mash the table into a ball, I would just be doing the same thing.
But then the Earth wouldn't be flat. Then it would be a ball.
It would be round. No, that's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I was picturing? Like, you know how you fold up like a cube?
Yeah.
Like that, but with rounded edges.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't picturing just a flat plane.
Oh.
Like a rectangle or like just a circle.
Yeah.
Like I was picturing like kind of like a T that you fold up into a ball.
Interesting.
No, that was wacky though in my head.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to live there.
No, I don't want to live. That doesn't sound great. Yeah.
So so flat earthers are very, very. I'm like you. I've watched a few. I've never talked to anyone personally that I know of that's a flat Earth person, but just from what I've seen on the documentaries and stuff I watch, they're like hardline, man. It's like militant, like
Yeah, like they're some of the most dedicated, like believers in something. That's why I think what you were saying.
yeah,
is
which
like-
kind of fits in with the QAnon thing because they're freaking dedicated too.
Well, that's probably why they won't let people. If the Earth is flat, that's probably why they won't let people go to Antarctica because then you would run into one of the walls.
But they are letting civilians shoot themselves up into space now. So
Space.
Wait.
The last people that have been to space were the Apollo astronauts. Everyone else is still in the Earth's orbit.
I know this, but you get high enough up there that you can see
Space.
that Earth is round or flat.
Okay. Yeah, that's
You know?
true. That's true.
So my whole thing is the guy that's the flag bearer for the flat earthers. I think his last name's Sargent or something like that. I
Okay.
could be making that up.
Yes.
Yeah, but just instead of charging him $20 million, hey, Bezos or Musk or somebody, it's not going to hurt for you to like let this guy ride up there for free. Give him a video camera, put him in your rocket, let him go up there, video this shit. It's either flat or it's not,
Yeah,
Right.
I'm with you.
you know?
Yeah.
And if it's not flat, now what are you going to do, sir? Mr. Flat Earth conspiracy theorist guy.
He is like intense.
He'll probably come up with another theory. It's like, the
Yeah.
reason why we couldn't go to outer
He'll
space is
defend it.
because we would have hit the dome
Yeah,
that's
the
covering.
permafrost or whatever.
Yeah, and what's making the Earth appear flat is the curvature of the dome. It's somehow
Yeah.
doing a
Yeah,
reflection or
like your
something.
perception of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's probably it.
I don't know. I really wouldn't care one way or the other. Obviously, I don't
Right.
believe flat Earth, but like if my life is not affected by the Earth being flat, like
Yeah.
I guess for some people it would make them question like, oh, is there a God? Like, did God create?
That's one of the things that they
Yeah.
touches on is religion and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very
Wouldn't I mean it's a valid question, but for me it wouldn't affect
Like,
that.
would my
at all.
everyday life change? No.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So God just made the Earth pancake and not round.
Yeah.
apparently did whatever he wanted, you know?
Yeah, I mean I
Yeah.
mean
He was just out here making shit.
it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
I mean
I mean, like,
technically yes.
yeah, well, that's a great point, Erin. Okay, so if he's out there just making shit, right? So who's to say that we're like the pentultimate shit, right? Because everybody says, "Oh, well, we're the human race. That's it. We're the greatest." What if we're not, though? Because if God created this, then He could go off and create some other stuff. I mean, there's like, well, God created us in His image. Okay, well, maybe He went off down the universe, down the galaxy somewhere, and created, and a whole race in the image of an octopus or something. Maybe there's a bunch of Admiral Akbars out there.
Hey, I believe it. Also, I was listening to someone talk, and they were saying how the word Elohim in the Hebrew Bible actually means the powerful ones. It's a masculine plural, so it doesn't mean a singular God.
Yeah.
It means multiple.
Like these type of things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why are we not at trivia? Like,
But that changes everything, honestly, because if they're writing down Elohim in the masculine plural, like, is that a mistake?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, or did they mean that there were multiple entities?
Well, there's multiple cases in the Bible where it says, let us.
Exactly.
When God is referring to himself, he said, let us. So, but then again, you can make the argument, well, he's God, so he's omnipotent. He is everyone, everything. So if he wants to say, let us do, he is us.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Jesus Christ is God.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It says in the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
Something.
But then there's also like the God of the Hebrew Bible is like a very spiteful God.
Oh,
like, he
dude.
punishes for 45 years, like 7 generations, like.
Well, he killed everybody in the whole world except for Noah and his family.
Yeah.
And then it was like
raining fireballs on Sodom and Gomorrah. Like,
yeah. And it was like, oh, God, Noah, I was a dick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that. So here's a rainbow. Yeah, that'll make up for it.
I'm gonna need a double rainbow.
Start your life over. Yeah, here's a rainbow.
Yeah, here's a rainbow, and don't use it for any homo stuff though. It's a straight rainbow.
Straight rainbow. Yeah, it's confusing when you think about it.
It is. The Bible is very, very confusing. Very confusing. And it's one of those things where if you look too deeply into it, it will actually make you question your faith. The reason they call religion having faith is because you have to take this book that's full of stories and you have to believe it's true.
Yes.
And if you really, really start, and you can't question it, by the way. No questioning. But if you do question it, then it starts making you question other things. And before you know it, you're like, well, I'm not even sure if this, I was brought up going to church and God is great and God is good. And now I'm not so sure, and I'm not saying there is no God. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, what if,
Yep.
What if it were the aliens? I need to get my sucralose hair.
Yeah, you need
We're the aliens.
stand your hair up a little bit. You
Yeah.
got long hair. You probably could pull it off.
Yeah. My wife wants me to grow my hair out. What do you think?
I think it looks good, man.
Really?
Yeah, I like it.
It's shitty, but okay. Like a rat's nest.
I mean, it's all I know.
Yeah,
It is all that you know.
that is
This-
true.
this
You
is-
haven't seen him
this
with
is-
short hair.
Yeah. I'll send you some DMs.
Okay. I hope some other listeners are going to send me some DMs as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, might as well.
and if
Yeah,
you
we
don't
can
have
give
long
'em-
hair, we're not due.
Yeah. We'll give them your Instagram account.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That's where the action's at.
And
probably.
It is
action
where
is on
it
Instagram.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. All the stuff that you post on Instagram's amazing.
It is. I'm not going to disagree.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's got a strong following.
I do.
yeah. All 5 of us
Yeah.
we're like loyal.
Really hype me up.
Yeah. All
It's
your
like
comments.
It's like I have 10,000.
Your
Yeah.
comment section is just popping off.
It is.
I know, man. Is she like post something and 5 minutes later there's tens of comments
Yeah.
on there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't get mine in. There's too many.
That's too many people.
many
I try to respect all my fans and reply, but
Yeah, you are pretty quick about replying. I will have to say, and I appreciate that. One of the many things that I have grown to appreciate about you in the 2 hours that we've been together, that we spent together, it means a lot to me. It's meaningful.
it's not desperation in my quick replies, but
Sometimes.
I just love.
But
the
what?
fans.
But
Yeah.
what if? Yeah, she just loves her fans.
Yeah.
She just loves her fans. So before we wind it down, do you guys have any particular topic you want to talk about?
I'll let Aaron go first. Do you have any?
Erin, yeah, go first. You've been quiet. What's up? What's up with that?
Any particular topic?
Okay, Eric, next.
Yep. No.
No?
Well, Aaron's thinking, yeah, Mothman's back.
Yeah.
Oh,
you had one.
Mothman.
You had mentioned that.
Mothman is back.
Aaron, you like Mothman?
I do.
You do like the
Yeah.
Mothman?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's taught me a little bit about Mothman.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, big Mothman fan. He was actually Mothman was one of like the first one of the first topics outside of like ancient aliens that I got introduced to.
Oh, nice.
Astonishing Legends is a podcast, pretty popular podcast. That they did a 3-part series on Mothman where they told like the Ingrid Cold encounter on the highway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then like John Keel's reporting, did a bunch of John Keel's work all the way up to the collapsing of the Silver Bridge?
The Silver Bridge, yeah.
yeah.
So where is Mothman made his latest appearance in it? Chicago? Didn't
So
you say?
Mothman is at the O'Hare Airport in Chicago.
Yeah.
Represent.
Yeah, I'll just read a quick little tidbit
Yeah,
here from,
please let us know what's
Phantoms
going on.
and
There's going to be a
Monsters.
bad plane crash at O'Hare.
So this witness worked at Delta Cargo as a forklift operator. It was just getting off his shift when he came upon the scene unfolding at United Cargo. The witness told of having his own brief sighting of the winged humanoid and had heard multiple stories from other coworkers and other O'Hare employees about the sightings of the quote-unquote O'Hare Mothman. The witness says he saw lights as he approached. So this was like, I guess this was at the fence of the O'Hare Airport. He was able to see the winged humanoid itself fly up and above the fence, headed in the direction of the runways. The witness stopped his car approximately 20 feet from the curve and got out trying to take pictures of the entity. The witness states that he was immediately told in a forceful manner to get in his car and leave the area immediately. This officer, it just keeps on going. It says he was like very like intimidated and just like knew that he had to get out of there. And says that 8 to 10 security vehicles were already on the scene and were turning the corner as he left that area. So kind of weird that he's hanging around an airport. I don't know. I also heard it's not on here, but I heard of another sighting on a different podcast, and it was saying that like Mothman was like making these weird, and who knows if it's the same entity? I don't know. It could be there could be multiple entities, but they were making this weird like high pitched like squealing sound, like coming out of its obviously wherever its mouth is or whatever. Which is interesting. I don't know if you've ever heard of. I think it's called the Freiburg Shrieker or something. It's something Freiburg in Germany near the Black Forest.
Okay.
But it's of this entity that was sighted making this like very loud screeching noise. I think it was like early 1900s or something. Yeah. So.
No, I never heard of that.
Humanoid. Yeah. Yeah. Freiburg Shrieker, I believe.
Maybe he's a version of Mothman.
Yeah. Came over. Immigrated through Ellis Island.
So, you think that means, guys, that something bad's about to happen at O'Hare? We're going to have a...
Yeah, I mean, the Mothman is a sort of...
Harbinger of
Harbinger
doom.
of doom, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. There was another flap in like in 2016, and nothing happened. So I don't know. It's tough thing is there's only like one instance of Mothman showing up, before all these sightings, and something bad happened. So I don't know. It's tough.
So he's 1 for 2.
He's 50% from the field.
So there's a 50 right now. There's a 50% chance that something could happen at O'Hare.
Yeah. Hopefully nothing, but
hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Erin.
I think if I had to say one thing, it would be I thoroughly enjoyed being here, and although I feel underqualified, I We'll offer one more of my favorite things we've talked about.
Yes.
We were talking about the Bible.
Yeah.
The different stories of Jesus Christ's resurrection.
Oh, yeah. These are good.
They were really good. We talked about it on World We Live In.
We did.
When were we doing that? Like a year ago?
It was around. No, it was around
was
Christmas
Christmas?
time.
Okay,
Yeah. That was our Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's more of an Easter
and
episode.
we did Santa things.
We
did,
did.
like,
Oh yeah, creepy Santas.
Creepy Santas. That was fun.
Krampus and
That's a
stuff.
good-
Yeah.
And well, sort
Well-
of, but these were like scary Santas.
Oh.
Yeah, like
Oh,
weird,
yeah.
weird apparitions of like creepy Santas.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah,
That was fun.
that was a good one.
But
But yeah, the Jesus alternative history is,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a
There's
rabbit
been
hole.
books written about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so, when Easter happened,
Holy Blood,
thought
Holy
about it
Grail.
again.
Mhm.
It was just really interesting. But
Yep.
now I forgot about the Santas. That's like a really good one too. We should all
It
go
is a
listen to
good
that.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah.
down.
Yeah. Nice.
So I forgot what I was gonna say. Just.
I did look. I looked.
Oh,
up,
so yeah, how many different versions of the resurrection of Jesus did you guys find?
I think it was a couple.
It was like maybe 3.
Yeah, I think it was
Mm.
3. There's one that says that the guy that was crucified was not Jesus, and that Jesus escaped.
Yep, heard that one.
Yep, that's one. And then I'm trying to remember what the other one. I think it was something Jesus was crucified,
But lived.
but
It was that he was in a coma for that long. For the 3 days
Okay.
and
Okay.
some change, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was that he was like, because he had lost so much blood or something.
Okay.
He was in a coma and then just like came back and was like, I'm getting out of here. And just like left. And he's just like,
Yeah. I mean,
never died.
another thing on
So-
top of that is the stories of Jesus having a kid with Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
And then Mary Magdalene going to, I believe it was
France.
modern day France. Yeah. And starting a whole like bloodline with
Merovingians and all that.
Merovingian. Yep.
Yeah, this Holy Blood, Holy Grail. There's a whole book written about it.
Yes.
If you hadn't read it, you should read it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little dated,
Yeah.
but the story
Yes.
that they postulate is very plausible, and in the end, they're basically saying Jesus Christ was a man. He was real, but he wasn't the Son of God.
Mm.
He wasn't this holy, magical being.
Yeah.
But he was a man. He was a very special man. But his whole thing, what he was trying to do was basically become king, ruler.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not
okay.
necessarily that he was trying to, unite everybody under the kingdom of God. He was trying to become king of whatever area or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. An actual kingdom.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well,
But yeah, it's a very interesting read.
Real quick, just the other one we talked about was the birth of Jesus. And
Oh yeah.
that story, I won't outline it all here, but a little plug if you go to World We Live In and listen to the Christmas episode.
Huh.
That story was I don't know if you've ever read the website Bibliotheca Pleiades, but it is a wild place. And if you want a good story, go there. Basically, Jesus was born via the wise men were like teleported from Egypt to Jerusalem, and there were all these frequencies going on and teleporting people back and forth.
And the North Star was like,
Was it a spaceship
I
or?
think
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it
that
was
makes
a spaceship.
perfectly good sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
They
totally,
would
yeah.
say that it was a spaceship. Yeah,
I didn't know
Yeah.
if it like didn't exist or it looked like a star but was a spaceship.
Yeah.
That's what
that's
it was.
probably what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's got to be a spaceship.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to listen to that.
It's a good story.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna run out of time here. I want to, Erin, you're coming back, right?
I am.
Okay,
yeah.
sweet.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, next time though, we're gonna have a topic, and we're all gonna just wail away on something.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I am too. I had, I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
too much.
Big story. Big story.
Yeah. I started going down the rabbit hole on that. Did he tell you?
I didn't get
No?
it because
Okay.
I knew we had.
Yeah. I started
out.
going down the rabbit hole on that, and I'm like, no. We're not gonna. That's a multiple
It is
deal. You can't just
a lot of people, a lot of
moving
theories.
parts, a lot of So we'll tell you off air. We'll tell you what that was.
We'll give you the deal.
Yeah, we'll give you the deal. So thanks for coming out. You're coming back. I mean,
Thank
you don't
you
have
for
a
having
you
me
don't
back.
you don't have a choice. You're
Okay.
coming back. You're coming back. Yeah.
Okay.
She drove, so
Yeah.
I do drive
okay.
everywhere. That's
Okay,
true.
well, that's great. Well,
Yeah.
hey, that's another plus. She drives, guys. She drives. She's a college graduate. She's got a sweet job lined up.
yeah.
Mhm. I'm really cool.
Yeah.
I drive everywhere. Honestly, like over half the guys I've seen in the last 2 years didn't have a car. So if you have one,
That's not great.
no,
Not a great track record.
no,
but
it's really
go ahead.
bad. But so I drive
It's
everywhere.
not great for them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, depending on how you look at it, I mean, I guess it could be great for them if they're going to hook up with a girlfriend that's going to drive her car everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't have to waste gas or anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And usually I get it in exchange for like dinner.
Yeah.
Like I drive them and they buy me dinner, or they buy me like coffee or give me gift cards. It's
Yeah.
a deal. But I would like someone with a car.
Yeah. Okay. So you got to have a car, preferably a job too, a steady job, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is there like any physical requirements, like height requirements, or anything like that, or because you're tall?
Yeah, but I don't like really tall people because I don't like feeling like I'm being towered over. So
Okay.
I like a good
You like-
6 foot,
Okay.
6'1" max.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's physical is not that big of a deal. I would like a job
And a car, a job and a car.
Priorities.
Okay.
We're not asking a lot.
No,
at all.
I mean, this is your shot. You know, shoot it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
You
go for the gusto.
Yeah,
Where else are you going to get an opportunity to do this?
yeah. Also, you must look not like a child without a beard.
Ooh.
So if you look at yourself and you're like, I look young without a beard, don't even.
Well, they say I heard this recently that the beard is like the male version of makeup.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna need to see you without a beard
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't grow a beard.
It's because you're so good looking. I mean,
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and the hair. Like you don't even
That's
need
the only thing I got is I can't grow a beard, so I can grow
Got
my hair.
good flow.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll just grow my hair. Yeah, like Eric's got great beard action going on, and I'm jealous of that. I would love to be
Thank you.
able.
It's
yeah.
he can grow a great beard.
He can grow
Yeah.
a great beard.
And it's like a little auburn.
It's a
little
good color.
red.
Good
Yeah.
color. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna like mountain man it up?
I did a few years ago and
Yeah.
it was wild.
It was insane.
I don't. It was before I knew you. It was pretty crazy.
I must see
Yeah,
photographic
I think I have a
evidence.
picture.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd love to see
Oh,
that. Yeah, I'd love to see you get all like ZZ Top,
Oh wow.
grow
Yeah.
a beard down to your nipples.
And then just
That'd
never
be-
wear a shirt.
Just never wear.
Never wear a
just
shirt.
go
You wouldn't
beard,
need
no
one
shirt.
because he'd have the beard.
That's true.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm jelly. I'm. What do the kids say? I'm jelly. Is that still a thing? Is that?
I
no?
think maybe for like middle schoolers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make me
Yeah.
sound stupid?
Yeah.
When I say okay.
Slightly.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about me here, so yeah. But yeah. So Erin, really seriously, thanks for coming, and I do want to get you back, and
Yes,
we're
thank
gonna
you.
have a topic, and we're gonna
We'll plan it out.
have a threesome on this topic and just like nail it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna bring it.
Let's
We're
do it.
gonna bring it. Yeah. Not that we never bring our A game because we always do.
Oh, excellence
Sure.
only.
Eric, excellence only. That's
Let's
his.
go.
Yep. So, for those of you who are listening out there, I hope that you enjoyed this open mic night, this little paranormal grab bag of whatever it was we were talking about. Thanks for listening. If you want to get in touch with us to comment about anything on the show, ParaReality is available on all kinds of social media. Twitter. How you say it? Twitter? Yeah, apparently I can't talk anymore. It's Twitter and Instagram. You can get hold of me there at ParaReal Radio on both of those. Or you can look for ParaReality on Facebook. I got an official Facebook page. post on my Facebook wall or slide in my DMs there on Facebook or send me a message on Twitter or Instagram. YouTube channel, ParaReality 1, if you want to get in touch with me on YouTube. I do upload all the audio to YouTube, and believe it or not, I got people that listen to it. So, hey, I listen to it off YouTube. So
Great outlet.
Yeah. YouTube for everything, right? So you can find me there, and you can also call the studio line, 615-692-1170. Leave a message. Email me, sandman@parareality.com. It doesn't matter what your comment is. It can be, hey, you suck, or I have an idea for a topic, or a response to something I posted on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, or, maybe you just want to say hi. 692-1170 with a 615 area code. Just email me, sandman@parareality.com, or get in touch with me through social media. Man, I'm everywhere. Eric and Erin can be heard on the World We Live In podcast, and they're basically anywhere you want to get your podcast, right?
Yep, anywhere.
Yeah.
Spotify, Google. I've recently been using the Google Podcast app, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
I like it. And then, Apple Podcasts, all
Yeah.
the big guys for sure.
Yeah, and is it World We Live In Pod at gmail.com, or is it World We Live In Podcast?
World We Live In Podcast. Yeah, World We Live In Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so long he can't even remember.
I know.
Yeah.
Big words.
It is big words.
Hard for him.
Yeah. So if you're an eligible bachelor that
Yep.
is at least 6 foot tall, doesn't look like a man-child without a beard, has a car and a job, Erin is looking for you. Email her, worldweliveinpodcast at gmail.com.
Hit us up.
We need a picture
Yeah, include photo. Yep.
and a resume.
And a resume.
And a resume.
And a picture of your car.
Honestly, I just need a paragraph about how you will not waste my time.
And that's important too. So we need it. We need a picture of you and your car. We need a life resume, not a work resume, but we need a life resume,
Correct.
like a little mini bio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And somewhere in there, you have to include a pledge of that you will not waste her time, because that's important. Because Eric is not going to appreciate you wasting the time of his little sister, and I am not going to appreciate you wasting the time of Eric's little sister, who is now my BFF. So
Yep.
we're not going to have that.
Once
Nope.
again, only excellence.
Only excellence. If that's not your motto, just don't even bother emailing. Just put
Just
the
swipe
keyboard
left.
away right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, put the keyboard away right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you guys want to listen to any of the prior episodes that I have on ParaReality, you can always go to my website, parareality.com, click on the archives section, and I got tons of audio from not only this podcast, but days when I was on terrestrial radio and when I was on Live 365 and all incarnations of the show. And so, if you want to listen to any of the previous episodes, just head on over to parareality.com. And man, I've got what's going on over there? What's that? Oh yeah, okay, great, thanks. Yeah, so no one would ever dare interrupt what's going on.
Someone just
the
did.
secret bunker. No one would dare do
just
that.
did.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So if you want to listen to any of the previous episodes, go over to the archive section. You can shop in the ParaReality Radio store too. Got tons of shirts and mugs and all kind of gear to show your love for ParaReality. And before we sign it off, I'm gonna let you listen to one more. Well, you know what? Normally I play commercials. I'm not even gonna do that right now. I didn't even do that. I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to. I'm having
Your show.
I'm having too much fun. But I am guys. I do have. I was telling Eric this. He knows. Erin knows.
Yep.
But I got some major changes that are coming on the way to the podcast. I know I've been kind of dropping hints over the past couple of months. Things are progressing along, and hopefully before the end of the summer, I'm going to have a major announcement here about the podcast. And I hope you guys will stick around to join me on this journey that I am about to take. And I really, really can't wait to to get on with that. That's gonna be fun, man. And by the way, you can hear this podcast on whatever your favorite podcast platform is. I'm with Eric, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple, and I'd appreciate it if you guys would just leave a review. That would be great. It helps to grow the podcast. The more reviews you get, the more exposure you get. So if you would care to, whatever platform you're listening on, just leave a review, especially if it's on Apple. That seems to be the big one, is Apple Podcasts. So I would appreciate a review. Thanks a lot. And listen to World We Live In podcast too, and leave them a review, because it's a good show and they talk about all kinds of great topics, and they need exposure. And when does your show drop? On Fridays? You do it every Friday, or
Usually a Friday or Saturday.
Friday or Saturday.
Weekend
So
show, yep.
yeah, just look, put it in your podcast feed, and whenever it'll
Give us
come
a
up.
follow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey guys, before we sign off, I want to do something.
Okay.
Erin, would you assist me? Could I ask you for a small assist?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. You see that mystery box sitting right there?
Yeah.
Would you do me a favor? I want you to pick that box up and set it on Eric's table.
Oh.
It's heavy. It's heavy now. She's walking towards the box. She's bending over. She's picking it up. See, it's heavy.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. All right. Eric, I know you just had a birthday.
Oh man. I did, yes.
So, and Erin, this is kind of for you too, in a way. I know you just graduated college.
I'm taking all the presents.
Yeah. So, in that box is my gift to you.
Okay.
I've listened to your podcast. I'm not going to lie. I don't listen to every episode that comes out. And I know you don't listen to every episode of mine that comes out.
Yeah.
But I've listened to your podcast, and we've had conversations about things.
Yeah.
And part of whenever we started together was I was like, man, I want to help, young podcasters grow their podcast and teach them about some things. And we've had a good time. But,
yes.
I want you to be able to have good quality content.
Yes.
In your podcast. Now I want you to be able to take your podcast up to the next level, and I want you to be able to have good equipment to use for your podcast. So in that is a podcast studio in a box for you, my friend, courtesy of me.
Wow. That's
amazing.
This is really great. Sincerely, this is incredible. I really appreciate it.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
And your next podcast better have all that equipment.
It will
better
be.
You need to go home and play with it.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that I don't have, you need an SD card.
Okay.
If you don't have an SD card, you're going to need to get one.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. But, I had the capability.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're my bud, and I want your sound to come up to the next level.
Yes.
I want your podcast to be elevated some, and you're coming on a journey with me.
We're going.
And I want that, like I said, that's my gift to you, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
And I hope that you certainly get a lot of good use out of that, and I know you will.
I have no doubts about it.
Everybody, next episode of ParaReality going to air on June the 3rd. That's when it's going to drop, 8 o'clock p.m. Central U.S. time. So make sure you tune in, and find out. Once again, thanks to my very special guest, Erin, and her brother, Eric, for appearing on the show.
Thank you
Thanks
for having
so much.
me.
You are
I'll be
coming back.
back.
Yep,
Peace.
definitely going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, I hope this podcast opens your minds up to new ways of thinking, expands your consciousness, and produces a change in the way you see the world. If you wish to change, you must lift the veil of ignorance that has been cast over your eyes. Only then will you see the true power of the universe. I hope you have a wonderful evening, a great weekend, and I'll see you again on June the 3rd. Good night, everybody.
If you wish to change, you must first lift the veil of ignorance that has been cast over your eyes. Only then will you see the true power of the universe.